as the Director of Utilities, as well as the district stance, that we actively move our mains, our water lines, if we are able to do so, and if it's a danger to something. We do have several lines right now that are encroaching on other people's properties that need to be moved, but we don't have the financial backing to move them right now. But they do not pose any risk to the properties that they're on. But they are on the list to be replaced. As for changing services from the meter to somebody's house, we really have no ability after the house is approved and signed off to enforce anything. We don't have the ability to go on private property and force somebody to move something.
Okay. I want to ask this very carefully. The White Oak Trailer Park, I thought their line runs through the senior center.
And they have an easement for that.
Okay. Yeah,
It's actually not the senior center, it's the neighboring homeowner gave them an easement, but the senior center uses that easement as their breaking water.
okay.
So it's a double whammy.
The other thing I also wanted to ask is we have the retrofit program that's optional for people to get to opt into. What is the benefit they get out of that? Because I see they have to pay a $400 application fee.
It's more geared towards large multifamily and commercial type structures. There really wouldn't be a benefit to houses or single family houses. The county does have a retrofit program that would be beneficial to single family houses where they will pay for retrofit. The district does not have funds for that right now. So there's really no way for the district to fund a program like that. And since the county does have funds for that, it's not something we're pursuing.
Okay.
The retrofit program that's detailed in here is, like I said, more for large multifamily, which really the district does not have at this point, but could have in the future. Both that program in here and any future program for single family houses could be revised later as the district grows and then more of the need is identified.
So they're going to pay money to retrofit their property, and I didn't quantify the benefit that they're really going to receive out of it, and then I guess a lower water bill.
They'll have a lower water bill, but the fee to review it is for staff time to determine the benefit of doing it. And to determine, well, number one, the benefit of doing it, but also to make the inspections of what's there now versus what they're putting in, making sure what they want to put in is compliant with what they say it's going to do. So.
Okay, and I don't want to drag this out forever because I'm sure that my colleagues really enjoy when I do that. Gosh. Yeah, too late. I heard that. In the old water codes, and I know it was also in the sewer code, there was a thing that said if a line ran past your house, you're supposed to have service. I didn't see that in here. We're going away from that old policy in the ordinance.
Well, you're required to have service. So if it's feasible, then you're required to have service. The water code is not the same as the sewer code. So basically, from the water code's perspective, you're just required to have service. It doesn't really matter how far away it is. The sewer code, the old sewer code, which is going to be revised, it's not totally revised right now. It required you, if you were within 100 feet, to connect.
Okay, yeah.
But that wasn't followed.
No.
So the new code will have some rendition of that. It will follow the public health and safety laws of today, not of the 70s. So you can look forward to that portion in there. In this instance, for the water code, you're just required to have service, and you can't build anything new without proving service.
Okay.
So you're required by us, and you're required by the county to prove that you've gotten service from us.
So what you're saying is right now, if a line runs past a person's house, they're required to have service from us. Is that what I heard correctly?
Unless there's another water district that can provide service. They're not allowed to drill a well within the district boundaries for domestic service.
Because aren't there a couple places where there's a property that has like a well? I thought that was the case off of 11th Street, where they had wells.
At the end of 11th Street, they do have wells. They were grandfathered in years and years and years ago. And most of those houses actually do have service. The there's actually two homes at the end of 11th Street that have wells.
Mhm.
They both have service from us.
Mhm.
They both pay for service from us, but they have wells.
Are the wells active?
One of them I know is for sure, the other one I don't believe so.
Do they want to be monitoring wells?
I don't know,
We're looking
maybe.
for some candidates.
Maybe.
That, excuse me, that raises the question. Now, Kelly said for domestic use. Now, let's say, if I want to drill a well to water my grass and everything, is that considered domestic? I mean, I would still have my hookup to the house, but, I like to keep my grass green. And, with these new rates, I don't think I'm gonna be able to afford it. So, yeah, so Kelly, maybe you can answer that. If I want to put in a little well on my property, and the only thing I was gonna use it for was for irrigating my landscape.
The county of San Luis permits wells, we don't permit wells. The only way they'll permit a well within San Miguel, the district of San Miguel, is if the property has to be over an acre, and it has to have an identified agricultural use. So, somebody within the district could petition or apply to build or drill a well. We had a customer on the terrace with over an acre that had an orchard, more or less, that applied, and because they met the qualifications, they were allowed to drill a well.
Mhm.
So they have service from us, and they have a well that they water their orchard with. So that is possible. It's a permitting application through the county, and again, I'm pretty sure that the minimum requirement is an acre, and it has to have agricultural use. So a person could go that route if they wanted to.
Thank you. Do we have any other board comment?
Can I ask one final one?
Sure.
I know I do actually raised this earlier in my original comments. I know it goes back to the county permitting the wells, but I have this sticking issue with the fact that technically the county can approve someone to build a massive well within our district boundaries and pump as much water as they want, more than this town, and we have a customer who does that. I mean, they just send you the thing saying, hey, we approved this. Is that what the MO is?
Applications for wells within our district have to be approved by the district. So when they get an application, or at least to my knowledge, every time they've gotten an application since I've been here, they've sent the notice to the district that there's somebody applying for a well, and to make sure that we agreed with the circumstances of that property and whether or not they should be allowed to have a well.
Do we have a standard that we accept of the wells? Is there, or is it just, it looks good on paper, we're gonna approve it?
Basically, all we can do is follow the standards that are set forth in the application process and the requirements to get the well in the first place. So if they don't meet those requirements, then we send it back to the county saying, no, this person doesn't have any agricultural use on their property. They have, a regular sized lot in San Miguel, and they have the ability to have water service.
See, because when I served on the Palace Basin Advisory Committee, this was an issue, people having wells, and no one knows how much they're gonna pump, and then now the state's gonna tell us that we have to regulate how much water is being pumped within our jurisdiction. So, you approved it, and then 10 years down the road, the state says, hey, you gotta cut back on the amount of water that's being pumped out of underneath your service area. That well is included in that number, correct? Or is that separate? I mean,
So domestic, or I'll refer to it as a residential well. If you have a residential well, then you're usually falling, this is not really the purpose of this, but
No,
it falls under the a de minimis user, which is somebody uses under 2 acre feet a year. Generally on a acre to 10 acre type parcel, it would fall under that, which doesn't directly affect what we're pumping.
Okay.
In the future, as our GSA moves forward, we are going to have to adopt things that either make assumptions about the wells that are in the district or that actively measure the wells that are in the district. I don't think we're ever gonna monitor them for how much they pump, but may monitor them for well levels or things like that.
Okay. That was my final question. I'm done. Thank you for putting up with me.
Thank you. Is there any other board comments?
I have none.
Okay. I will close public hearing for ordinance 01-2019. Moving on to special presentations, public hearing number 2.
So, may I just ask a clarifying question for the board clerk? That was the first reading,
That was the second reading.
so we need a motion to approve the ordinance now.
No, that's an action item I have in the
Oh,
action.
I apologize.
Okay,
So make sure.
that's why you asked.
Okay. Public hearing regarding and proposed ordinance adopting and amending the 2019 edition of the California Fire Code, including articles, appendices A through N, amendment and errata of California Building Code Section 7A, which will be collectively referred to as San Miguel Community Services District Local Ordinance 02-2019. This is a time and place for a public hearing relating to the district's proposed fire code. This public hearing provides a forum for property owners and district customers to offer comment on the proposed fire code. A sign-up sheet should be circulating. If you wish to make a public comment, please enter your name on the sign-up sheet. Staff will provide a general presentation regarding the proposed fire code.
And this is going to be Scott Young, who's diligently worked on the fire code and the amendments for the district, bringing us current to 2019.
Hello. The purpose of this ordinance is to formally adopt the 2019 California Fire Code, including amendments, errata, appendices A through N, local ordinance 02-2019 as the basis for all fire life safety items. The district has been operating the 2013 California Fire Code, including local ordinance 02213. It is the district's responsibility to adopt the California Fire Code every 3 years, as this is a major update cycle for all fire and building codes in California. In addition, the authority providing jurisdiction, otherwise known as the AHJ, which is the San Miguel Community Service District, must include any local ordinance at the time of the current code adoption. The purpose of adopting local ordinances is to assure that fire life safety issues directly related to the AHJ are properly mitigated to the best of the AHJ's ability. The last California Fire Code adoption was approved on November 21st, 2013. Since then, an amended fire code was brought to the board in 2016 for adoption. However, no action was taken. In order to remain compliant with the current California state regulations, it is necessary to adopt the current California Fire Code, including its amendments, errata, appendices A through N, and local ordinance 02-2019. There was one change made to, or addition, since the last reading, and that would be section 5, and that would be to add item F. Item F reads, all mechanical equipment located in a concealed space shall have a 200-degree pilot head located at an elevation no more than 18 inches below the highest ceiling elevation of a concealed space above the unit and no further than 3 feet away from a unit. Any piping located above the building insulation levels shall be insulated.
Okay. It is time to take testimony from the public. We request that each person who speaks give their name and address and state whether they are the owner of property affected by the proposed fire code. Do we have public comment? Okay, with no public comment, I would bring it to the board. Do we have board comment?
Yes, I had one question. I saw that the section I was referring to originally in my email got removed about the date of safe and sustaining fireworks when they can be used within the district.
The date is set by the district policy. So the fireworks application section was amended to allow a greater or lesser sales period, depending on the day the 4th of July falls on any calendar year. So some days, some months we have 7 days, some years we have 4 days of sales. So that's why that was consolidated in that manner. It's up to the district every year to approve the use and sales of Safe and Sane fireworks on an annual basis, as well as the fees.
Okay. The big thing I have a question on is section, this says section C, I believe this is item number 10, it's regarding the private hydrants and on-site fire supply systems. Is there, it mentions a San Miguel Fire Department and San Miguel CSD standard specifications and drawings. So what is the standards on private fire hydrants?
As far as the fire end is concerned, the private fire hydrants must be installed to the specifications of the San Miguel Community Service District's water standards. They must meet the required fire flow for a project, and they must be identified by being painted red in color. Other than that, it's up to the district supervisor to ensure that the hydrant is of the district standard and the underground piping is installed with the approved components.
Okay.
Are there several colors that they need to be painted to designate flow?
There is a color standard, and the heads are to be painted in different colors. It's listed in the ordinance. However, our fire flow is to a level that one color meets all needs. The only reason we would paint a private hydrant red is so we know it's a private hydrant. We're not going to go out there and test on it and run a private user's water bill.
Okay.
And then for testing requirements, we can't really get a flow test on a facility that only has one hydrant. You need to have multiple hydrants to get an accurate residual pressure and flow.
Thank you.
So, and I remember this has come up before, so we don't test private fire hydrants.
We will inspect them, but we will not test them.
Okay. So is that written anywhere in that? Because I know that it was an issue when I worked with Samuel Schools a little bit, because there were ancient fire hydrants in the back that just, it was just sitting there, just big, beautiful patch of green surrounding the fire